Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody had a good evening. Hope everybody participated in a recovery tonight. I had a good day, kind of a long day. Still struggling with a little bit of an infection issue that's bothering my ear somewhat because of teeth. Go figure that drug addiction would affect your teeth and your health, but it does. So life's been showing up, and I've been struggling with a toothache and a little bit of an inner ear infection, which is okay. I can deal with it. Um, but it's been kicking my butt, to be honest. But I had a great day overall. I just wanted to hop on here real quick and see how everybody was doing. Hope everybody had a great day. I stumbled across the reading I wanted to share with you guys real quick before I call tonight and prop my feet up and practice a little bit of self-care myself. Um, Welcome everybody coming in. Let me pull this reading up here, and I'm just going to kind of share on it as I read it. And if you guys have any comments, pop them in the chat if you want. Let's bring her up. There we go. It says there may be many things in our lives that seem unsure and doubtful. Boy, I can remember that. I actually struggle with that today. Doubt and fear, fear of the unknown. I was just listening to a meeting earlier, and they talked about just worry, the woulda, coulda, shoulda, stressing out about the holidays or stressing out about financial situations, what happened 20 minutes ago, or what's going to happen tomorrow. Especially this time of year, I know the holidays are really stressful. And I know there's uncertainties and there's doubt and there's fear involved. Says whatever our hope or personal need is today, we are not given the knowledge that tells us how things will turn out. Says in the pre-dawn darkness, we don't know how they will or how the day will unfold, which is true. We don't know. And I have control issues. I don't know about you guys, but I struggle with control daily. I'm an addict. I want when I want it type attitude. And when I have those uncertainties and those fears and those doubts, that's when I realize I need to share and talk about it. That's why, personally for me, working the steps in the 12-step program that I work, help, practicing those spiritual principles and sharing and talking about where I'm at and what's going on with me. What am I fearful of? What am I scared about? What's bothering me? What's going on with me? Feelings can suck at times, and I don't like to always share about my feelings, but I know that's what's best for me. So sometimes faith is simply a matter of continuing with our program in the midst of our doubt. Like I said, practicing those principles, working on that step work if you work a 12-step program, share them with other people. Whatever your recovery tools are in your toolbox, using them and pushing forward. If you've seen the intro, one of the little signs that popped up, ironically, without me even realizing I was going to share on this tonight, it said, no matter what, don't pick up. Whatever your DOC is, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's food, drugs, alcohol, pornography, whatever. Do not pick up. It says we can be certain that whatever direction events take, whatever pain or trial, we must deal with it. Share about it. Talk about it. Reach out and ask for help. These are the first thoughts that are going through my head. Not isolate. Try not to worry. This brings on for me personally a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression and a lot of fear. We will still have ourselves because we have been faithful today. We participated in our recovery today. Did you guys participate in your recovery today? That's something that I have to ask myself daily. ultimately, it's when we have ourselves and our integrity, which to me means a lot, being of our word and practicing what we preach, um, walking the walk. I could go on with examples of where I'm going with this. What we are on the recovery path. It is our faith, or for me, faith and trust in something greater than myself, whether it's God, whether it's the universe, whatever you choose to be something greater than yourself, good orderly direction, keeps us there regardless of the setbacks and personal moments of darkness we each must meet. I know for me, even in recovery, even clean, even sober, there's still struggle. There's still darkness. There's still moments that pop up. Life shows up. And I have to be prepared for it. I have to be prepared to use those recovery tools, the tools in my toolbox, and practice them. Stay vigilant and reach out and ask for that help because it's going to happen. Believe me, it's going to happen. Just because we get clean or we get sober, doesn't mean that we're not going to have those dark moments or those setbacks. There's all kinds of setbacks, financial setbacks, job losses. These are just examples. You guys know where I'm going with this. It says, I will be faithful to my program, even in the darkest moments of doubt or fear. It will carry through me. That this reads, practicing the principles in all my affairs. If you work a 12-step program, some type of, recovery program, just to practice it daily and staying vigilant in your recovery, in my recovery. It's something that I have to do day in and day out and realize that, I'm an addict. I'm always going to be an addict and I'm always going to have these struggles when my life shows up. I have to face it head on. I have to share those feelings that I don't want to share. Yeah. Trusting the process. Exactly. And it's just trusting that faith and trust in the process that things are going to turn out the way they're meant to, how they're meant to, and when they're meant to. And letting go of that self will that I like to take control of all the time because it's a character defect of mine. Control. And running on self will has been something that I allowed to keep myself in active addiction for over 20 years of my life. And I just simply have to let it go and listen, stop and think, slow myself down, and become open minded and willing to listen and take suggestion. It's something that wasn't really easier for me. It's something that I still struggle with today, but it's getting better. The longer I stay in recovery and the more I practice these principles, the more I reach out to other people and share with like-minded people in recovery that love and understand me. It's that lived experience that's so important. That's why I constantly talk about sharing and participating in your recovery and staying vigilant, because to me, it's that important. And you guys are going to hear me talk about it time and time again, because it was something that I had failed at miserably. I automatically had gotten that attitude of I got this and I'm okay. And I don't need to go to a meeting today, or I don't need to call my sponsor, or I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. You hear all these I's. I was super self-centered. And I thought that I was cured, that I was okay, that I can do this on my own. And it's just simply not true. I need each and every one of you guys. The program that I work, they call it the therapeutic value of one addict helping another. It's the beauty of the we. Together we're stronger, and I need each and every one of you guys. That's why it's so important to share and to reach out and have a strong recovery network. Please share the page, guys. You never know who may need to hear it tonight. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to hop in here and listen. I love you guys. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. If you haven't reached out to anyone today, please reach out, guys. Tomorrow is not promised. Reach out and tell them that you love them and that you care about them. You never know who's struggling out there. They may need just to hear a little bit of experience, strength, and hope from you to get them through that moment. through that second, through that day, and pat yourself on the back. If you're clean today, whether you got 1 minute, 5 minutes, 5 years, or 20 years, pat yourself on the back. Every day is a victory, guys. I love you guys. I will catch you guys later. Everyone have a good evening. We'll see you.